Good day, everyone. My name is Michelle Baksh, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer of YBMS Biotech Limited. And this is Yasser Baksh, who is our CEO, Managing Director, and also the head of our manufacturing company. So, YBMS Biotech Limited is a manufacturer of biodegradable chemical sterilants, disinfectants, and sanitizers. And we also produce specifically for the veterinary sector. So today we're actually going to talk a little bit about our products, what they can do, and what they specifically are used for within the veterinary industry. Now, before we go ahead and do that, I just wanted to say on behalf of Yasser and myself, thank you very much for the opportunity to present to you all today. We are very sorry that we could not be there in person, but next best option. So we hope that you will give us a little bit of your time. We wouldn't take too long. And we'll just go into some of the key information. And of course, if anybody has any questions after, you can reach out to us directly or through the heads of the Veterinary Association, and we'll do our best to answer it. And one better, we can always send a rep or Yasser himself to come and detail your clinic. Okay? So now we'll get into it. Just let me share my screen. And what we're pulling up right now is our medical product catalog that does have specific sections to the veterinary industry. And before we actually go into the details of it, we just wanted to go a little bit more into what our company does. So I'm just going to scroll down to a little introduction. Now, before I go into reading this, what I wanted to really say is that we are not just another chemical disinfectant company. What we pride ourselves in doing is actually creating new solutions, safe solutions for the medical industry in particular. So we produce completely biodegradable, 100% non-toxic chemical solutions that are so safe that they can be used on skin, directly on the animal, and also in terms of enclosures, and also for surgical purposes. So we're going to go into that now. And just a little bit about the company. We started in 2016, and we started manufacturing with our flagship product, which is BIOTECplus. That's the name of our brand. Under the BIOTECplus flagship, we have a number of different presentations, which we'll go into. But today we'll be focusing on our liquid concentrate, which Yasser will go into in a little. All right, Yasser?
Hi, yes. Michelle, I just wanted to make one quick correction to what you said there. First of all, everyone, thanks for having me on board. If you just scroll back up, it's actually in 2006 that we would have started with our manufacturing for the agricultural sector. We further moved into the medical segment a few years later, and that is what affects what Michelle was saying in 2015. And that is where we really indulge those segments. We have all tests for each of those segments, whether they are vet or dental or general surgical uses. Okay, so let's scroll down a little bit.
Now, for anyone that's wondering, this product catalog will be sent to you all as well, so you could take your time to read through it and peruse all the information that you think you may have missed.
Awesome. Just keep going, because we've already gone through that with these guys. Fantastic. So this is, I think, the most important part aspect of your understanding of product and, of course, usages. BIOTECplus is made up of two quaternary ammonium salts, uniquely intertwined in order to give you that proprietary feel. What does that mean? It means that you are going to get characteristics that you can use on a daily basis without causing any damage to any of your surfaces. Non-abrasive, non-corrosive, non-systemic, very importantly, because you are working with live animals, and so you do not want to get any type of product, as a matter of fact, into the bloodstream of the animal. You want it to work specifically on the surface areas. So if you look at the product composition, you will see two of them, as I mentioned there: N-alkyl dimethyl benzyl chloride and N-alkyl dimethyl ethyl benzyl chloride. These are actually very well-known chains, quaternary ammonia chains, and as I mentioned before, it is our unique proprietary blend of these two chains that make it so unique. allowing you to have 12 of these characteristics, which again are so useful for you in your clinic. It is 100% biodegradable. It is effective in the presence of organic. In fact, it's very effective in the presence of organic. It is non-flammable and it has a stable pH between 3 to 11. It does not lose its properties in the presence of ultraviolet rays. And of course, that is also useful for you guys. It is odorless, colorless, and slightly bitter in taste. And I just want to make a point on that. You may be asking, well, how do we know it's slightly bitter in taste? The beauty of this product is that you are dealing with your pets. And particularly with pets, they love to lick things. So unlike other chemicals that you are currently using at your clinic, BIOTECplus can be used around the pets, and you allowing the pet to be able to lick or even quote unquote ingest the chemical after it is mixed. So you can use it onto your food bowls, food areas, food storages, around your pets, on your pets, without having to worry about the product being harmful to the pet, right? I would get to that point a little bit later on, but as for on this point here, with respect to safety, I just thought we'll just touch on that, right? You do not need gloves or masks for its use. It's completely non-toxic, as mentioned before. It's not absorbed through the skin, nor causes sensitization or irritation. It is non-carcinogenic. It does not emanate fumes. It is 100% safe for humans and is effective against different types of microorganisms. And just keep note that we were the first in Trinidad and Tobago to be internationally certified for human corona/COVID-19.
Now, in addition to that, I just wanted to mention on point 6 that even though it is in fact odorless, BIOTECplus is actually a powerful deodorizer for organic smells in particular. So any smells due to feces, urine, or just wet doggy smells, which we all know, it works fantastic, and it can be safely inhaled, as Yasser mentioned. It's safe around your animals. In fact, which is something we'll go into just now, you can actually rinse and wash off dogs, cats, everything with it, and it is used by some vet clinics already to treat meat.
Right, so mixing instructions. It's very, very simple. You have the dual chamber concentrate. Could you pass the dual chamber concentrate?
Sure. So what we decided to do was, for quality control purposes, and we are guilty of being very stringent on that because both of us are chemists. Yasser is an analytical chemist and I'm an environmental chemist. So what we wanted to do was ensure that quality control was as easy, convenient, and safe as possible. So even our packaging is already measured out. So Yasser will demonstrate exactly what that means now. But you don't need any additional measuring equipment to be able to mix our concentrate. Yasser?
Great. So this is our dual chamber concentrate bottle. I don't think it's very clear. Green.
Because of the background.
Okay, no problem. We will.
But that's okay. You can use the pictures for it. So this is down here is a image of what that dual chamber bottle looks like. And as you can see, this is a dental assistant at one of the dental clinics that uses our product as well. She's squeezing the main chamber. There are 2 chambers. She's squeezing the main chamber to fill up this mini chamber. Now, this mini chamber is going to give you 1 dose of BIOTECplus, which will make I just realized that I was doing the same thing. It's not going to show. To make 1 gallon of BIOTECplus using regular filtered tap water. All right. So each bottle is 240 milliliters, which will give you 12 gallons of usable product from just that 1 small bottle. And it is, in fact, the size of the palm of my hand, very small. So you can use that to get, like I said, 12 gallons. And also, it is suitable for use for parvo animals as well, and any infectious animals that may be in your clinic. Now, I know that there are a number of clinics that actually are not able to, I wouldn't say won't, but are not able to take infectious animals, such as dogs that have canine parvo virus, or even leptospirosis, or canine coronavirus, because of the risk to other animals in the clinic. And with a shock dose of BIOTECplus, which is where you use 2 mini chambers, so 1 gallon of water, you can actually get the same safe properties that we just mentioned, while the product is effective at controlling the pathogens that cause these diseases, creating a safe space for you to take in other animals while you treat animals that have parvo or any other infectious disease that you may be afraid of keeping in your clinic.
Right. Just to reiterate what Michelle said, we always refer to different types of dosages on our medical leave aids or dosing charts, as we call it. And they are called the regular dose and the shock dose. The regular dose, you simply squeeze the main chamber as seen on the picture, and you fill up the mini chamber, which is 15 milliliters, equivalent to half of an ounce, and you pour that into a gallon of tap water. The shock dose is simply doubling the mini chamber, which would mean 30 milliliters or 1 ounce to 1 gallon of tap water.
Correct.
And you do not need to overshake. You literally just do a mild homogenizing, and that's it. And then you apply the product accordingly, according to the dose chart. So literally, guys, all you're doing, instead of having to purchase several different chemicals for your clinic, you have one bottle that is acting as a sterilant, a disinfectant, and biomedical sanitizer, taking the place of all of those different chemicals. And the only thing that you are doing is manipulating dosage and the type of application. For example, we will get into the dosing charts in a second, and I will show you exactly what I mean. Right, so this is our veterinary dosing chart. Mish, could you just enlarge on the chart for me a little bit, please? So that we can focus exactly on what the different dosages are. Lovely. Right, so let's focus on the surfaces. Of course, these are the typical surfaces that you'll find in your veterinary clinic. Everything from your sterilizing of your surgical tools or instruments, your operating rooms, your animals and immediate environs. Please take note here that throughout this dosing chart, you will see contagious and you will see healthy. Where there is contagious written, it is for your transmissible diseases such as parvo. And you will also note that everywhere that you see contagious, you will see on the dosage shock dose. Further down, you will see sanitizing of all surfaces, chairs, trays, sinks, countertops, other surfaces such as door handles, hand mirrors, protective glasses for patients, the x-ray machines, of course, clothing and other fabric, which is so important to you guys, and all the housing areas for the animals themselves. And again, you will see infected and healthy. So where there's infected, the dosage is always shock. Stalls, crates, and of course, the reception area. So now let's now focus, excuse me, to the dosing area, sorry. And I would have just mentioned to you what the difference is between regular and shock. Regular simply means 15 milliliters equivalent, half of an ounce to 1 gallon of tap water, and the shock means doubling it up 30 milliliters or equivalent to 1 ounce to a gallon of water. And of course, the manipulation here is with respect to applications. If you are dealing with blood on your surgical instruments, or you just have to do your pre-soaks and your sterilization, you simply immerse the tools into the mixed solution for 15 minutes. You'll see the miracles yourself. The blood will start breaking down very, very quickly. You do a lot less work. I've had so many different types of doctors, whether it be dental or veterinary, tell me, yes, sir, you know, it's so effective, it's so efficient because of the rate at which it works. The blood breaks down a lot faster. You do not need to rinse with anything else. You can do your pre-soaks and your scrubbing with the product as well. For your operating rooms, of course, you want to use your shock dose because that is where you have heavy transmissible disease. So you want to spray it up in the air. For your animals and infected environments that have contagious, again, you have your shock dose. So at this point, I wanted to really relate it in a more practical sense. When you are mixing, I recommend particularly that you have 1 gallon, that is the regular dose, and 1 gallon that is shock proof. And then you can draw from each one on a daily basis. Now we will get to the concept document in a little bit, where you will see the qualitative and quantitative aspects of what we are discussing right now. But just so that you can conceptualize right now in terms of the usage for the surfaces on a daily basis, it just makes sense to have a dosing chart just to understand exactly what we're trying to discuss with you guys. Okay.
And these dosing charts are also left at your clinics when we come to do detailing. And when you purchase the liquid concentrate, we also provide a labeled gallon bottle that would be specific to your usages. So as Yafta mentioned, a shock dose and a regular dose. Now, in addition to that, I just wanted to reiterate again that this is not a corrosive product. So when Yasser went into surgical tools, and we know the tabletops in vet clinics are usually metal, so bleach is an issue for you all. We've spoken to countless vets to get an idea of what the challenges are for you all. So one is that almost everything is metal. Bleach is cannot be used on those surfaces, on colored fabric. So I mean, if you all have any colored towels, I know how they look after a couple of bleach cycles. And so you could use it for all of that, to completely disinfect everything that you use, your towels, your tools, your surfaces, everything. And it is completely non-corrosive, non-abrasive, and also, as I mentioned, odorless. You're not going to get any fumes. You don't have to leave the area when you're spraying. You can also spray while you have animals in boarding areas. If you want to use a fogger to get into the air instead of just washing, there are many different ways that you can apply the product. As I mentioned, in boarding areas, surgical areas, and also if you have to deal with post-surgical wound care for animals as well.
Yeah. And before we go on, I just wanted to again reiterate what Michelle was saying. With BIOTECplus, you get a completely holistic approach to everything in your clinic. And I'll just touch on clothing and fabric as well, for example. So with respect to the dual chamber concentrate bottle, in this case, when you are doing washing of clothing and fabric, you squeeze and you put the mini chamber into the last rinse cycle. So this one, you actually are not diluting before you add direct into your last rinse cycle, because you have something like 13 gallons of water that would already exist in your washer. And of course, if you were to pay attention to the application, you will see that some of them are on contact spray and some of them are spray and leave for 15 minutes. Where you see spray and leave for 15 minutes, that's where you specifically have blood, interaction of blood. You definitely want to spray and leave it 15 minutes, let the product break into the blood, into the plasma, and work through it. For everything else, you just spray, and you can give it a wipe. And very soon, guys, we'll also be bringing out our wipes as well. We're trying to achieve that by the early first quarter of 2024. But in the meantime, if you have any disposable wipes, feel free to use them together with the BIOTECplus, all of your surfaces. So again, once there's blood, you have your 15 minutes. If there's no blood, you can just spray and wipe, or spray and leave, or at the end of every day as well, you can give a proper disinfection, spray and leave throughout the night as well. So yeah, let's move on from there. Right, so just touching on, can we just go to the top? A little higher, right? So this is an example of some of the main pathogens that we deal with. Essentially, once you do the 1 mini chamber or 2 mini chambers to 1 gallon, you are going to cover this. And BIOTECplus has been certified for the most extreme of bacteria, virus, fungi that exists. Everything from MRSA to the COVID-19. And of course, with the dual chamber usage, shock dose, you are comfortably going to cover the part.
And everything has been internationally tested and certified under EPA standards, as well as an internationally accredited lab in Texas called Microchem.
Yeah, all of which you can very comfortably see on our website if you go to ybms.com. Biotec, BIOTEC, there's no H.com, and you can click on the technical information tab to see all of our certificates. So as I mentioned to you, we did an entire range of pathogens. Right, so this is get to the header of this one. All right, so this is effectiveness of product against native referential bacterial strains and enteropathogenic and respiratory strains. So let's go down to the table. Right, so you'll see it listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what we essentially did here, we would have listed the different types of pathogens tested against, numbered them, and then you will see the start of action and residual power, right? So the numbers relate to the different strains that we would have mentioned before. The side of it, you'll see product and BIOTECplus. PR is residual power, meaning however long the product would have lasted after the application was done onto the surface that would have had the pathogenic bacteria or strain. And then there's a time frame of greater than 30 days that was proven even after it would have gotten rid of that specific pathogen. So you will see for each one of them, BIOTECplus, any isolated area, keyword is isolated area, lasts more than 30 days after eliminating the pathogen in question. And of course, this is also a test that would have been done. So fine, so we get to the benefits of BIOTECplus and test. So with respect to everything that Michelle and I would have discussed, we are now going to summarize what that means and how our tests apply to exactly what we would have said. Keep taking note, of course, that everything that we would have discussed would have been the application of the dual chambered bottle at your veterinary clinic with your live patient, allowing your live patient to be safer, right, and preventing transmissible disease going from either animal to animal or animal to human, carrying it home as well. So that's also very, very important to take note. As Michelle would have right said, you can inhale this, you can touch the product, it's not going to affect you. Just obviously the important thing is to take note of the instructions, how you do your mixing and so forth. Very importantly, a vet most recently asked, said, Yasir, what happens if I mix more? I said, well, doc, you know, Trinidadians love to mix and throw and add. So she said, yes. She said, that's exactly what I'm asking because I'm not always here. I have assistants who do things for me. They do mixing. I said, it's absolutely not a problem if they somehow add more product to the water when they are mixing. It's not going to hurt or damage hard surface or the animals in any way. However, it is key to note that you should not mix the chemical with other chemicals. That's very important. Once the product is added to the water, right, it technically works its way into the water without being hostile to the animal or damaging to any surface. But having said that, it is a chemical at the end of the day, and even though it's biomedical and biodegradable, there are instructions for a reason. The good thing also with the product is that it technically does not have an expiry date. We have to put an expiry date there. We give it a 3-year period. Most importantly, you want to keep it in a dry, cool area as it is a salt and water-based product. You do not want it in high temperatures or extremely low temperatures. In extremely low temperatures, it's ice. In extremely high temperatures, it will evaporate, leaving a salt essentially. So you want to keep it at a middle range of room temperature or cool temperature, right? That is very important. So getting to the benefits of BIOTECplus and testing. It is tested safe and effective against extreme pathogens existing in the medical facilities. The product allows fast turnovers in each department, ranging from 15 seconds to 15 minutes, taking the place of numerous individual cleaners and thus allowing greater efficiency, safer environments, and cost savings to the establishment. So let's put a little dot on that one. Cost savings. So you are technically taking the place of several different chemicals that you are currently using at your veterinary clinic. Secondly, with respect to using dual chamber bottle, you are literally using just a half of an ounce to 1 ounce. And we have done our comparisons against a range of other chemicals, and you typically run from 1 ounce to 4 ounces. So that's a lot of chemical that you have to use in order to do your mixing with roughly 1 gallon of water. So those are two major ones there. And again, if you are capable of using a product to replace several products, and of course on different surfaces, doing everything from sterilizing, deodorizing, hard surface disinfection, and sanitizing around that, frankly, that's a win-win, right? So the product is non-toxic, it's biodegradable, biomedically standardized disinfectant, sanitizer, and sterilant, and it's safe for human contact, non-abrasive, and of course, in this case, animal contact is non-abrasive, non-corrosive, and is certified international. So you get the best of the best. BIOTECplus is tested at the Microchem laboratory in Texas, USA, under the ISO 17025, accredited and at a GLP compliant laboratory. The ISO is for the particular laboratory. Microchem maintains compliance with EPA and FDA good laboratory practices, and BIOTECplus is manufactured with active ingredients. Pull down the table for me a little bit, please. Right, so we would have included this study title and test method table here, showing you exactly the main pathogens we would have tested against and the codes used to reflect those. Everything from Pseudomonas, Staphylococcus, E. coli, interdigitale, and human coronavirus. And of course, to the right, you will see all of the identification, right? And of course, you know what MRSA is, so that has also been tested as well, right? These are just touching very quickly. These are ready-to-use versions, but they are technically not for the veterinary clinics. The version that the presentation is used at the veterinary is our dual chamber concentrate, because this is the only one that can be manipulated. So moving on to our concept page, this is our dual chamber, as we have mentioned. This is the bottle that we've been discussing all the while. You will see the dual chamber at the very, very top, because there are two caps there. So the right cap at the top is where you will see the dual chamber, the mini chamber, sorry. This is 15 milliliters to half an ounce, right? So this is where it gets interesting, guys, because we are talking about our pockets right now. And in our economic climate, we really have to think about these things. So if we just pull on the page a little bit, right there, it's fine. Wait. Okay, so this is our dual chamber, as we mentioned to you before, and you can see here a gallon bottle. So as I would have explained, you squeeze the mini chamber, you squeeze the dual chamber, filling the mini chamber, and you pour the mini chamber into a gallon of tap water. So we've created this concept for you, and we are now going to discuss price. So you'll see, for example, unit price to clinic in TT dollars is $380. Again, we put the gallon bottle so you have a fair understanding of what you would be using and how it's going to affect your pocket. You are getting 12 gallons out of 12 of these gallons out of the little bottle at the very top of this page, 12, which means that's $29 per gallon every time you do a mix. Now, take into consideration the concept itself. You'll see 1, 2, and 3 on the gallon bottle. This is qualitative, not quantitative. What do I mean by that? It is basically conceptualizing what you are getting out of it in terms of your usage. So you can use it for your tool sterilization. So let's say you make a gallon, you are going to take out a little bit out of it to use it for your tool sterilization and any blood that you may have in your clinic. That batch, which is obviously not the entire gallon, that is now going to be contaminated by, let's say, for example, the surgical tools, has a shelf life of 24 hours. However, the gallon of solution after mixing has a shelf life of 1 year. So only what you take out of it that is then contaminated has a shelf life of 24 hours. And you can do any amount of tool sterilization within that period of time. You can also use it, as you see here on the concept for number 0.2 and 0.3, is your flushing of any lines that you may have, for example, and this sterilization, disinfection, or sanitizing of hard surface areas as well. Often I get the question, so Yasir, what can I do with this 1 gallon, do I have separate gallons for different usages? No. You have 1 gallon, and if you use it accordingly, because as I mentioned, it's qualitative, it's not quantitative. Quantitatively, you are not going to use 1/3 of a gallon for your tool sterilization, for example, in a day. You'll probably use 1/10 of it, which means that you're technically using or spending $1 to $2 maximum on each of your usages in a day. So you're saving a tremendous amount of money. Further to that, we have our bundle offers where we essentially allow you to take 3 to 5 units at a discount of 2% on each unit. That is roughly $8 or $7.65, I think, per unit, which essentially, if you work it out at a minimum of 3, that's 8 3s are 24. If you do 5, that's 8 5s are $40 you're saving there. We also have our half case and full case offers, in which case the price per unit, meaning per bottle, drops from $380 to $360, the middle column. That's $20 less each unit, which means you're saving $240 because that's for 12 bottles. And finally, we have the full case, which is a box of 24 of the dual chamber bottles, each unit being reduced by $30. So you're saving $720. Sorry? Yeah, $760, sorry, for every 24 bottles or case that you are purchasing. We, however, have recently expanded our subscription offer because our subscription previously only included the half case and the full case offers. But more recently, with our feedback from clinics, we realized not every clinic is the same. Not everyone will use the product as quickly as the other. So we have
size.
Because of size, yeah, exactly. So what we've done is we've allowed you, the vet, to purchase according to your needs or more according to your needs. You can go all the way down to 3 or 6 dual chamber bottles, and you can pick your frequency, whether it's monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or every 6 months over a duration of 6 months to 1 year. And that entitles you to get free gowns and gloves. You also, if you take the half case or full case, you're entitled to 1 free clinical disinfection per quarter. That would typically cost you anywhere between $1,400 to $2,000, and you actually get that for free if you get the half case or the full case within the subscription time frame, right? So let's see if there's anything else that we need to discuss with our veterinary friends, right? And so that is it, guys. So I just want to, on behalf of the YBMS team, Michelle and I would both like to thank all of you, thank the Veterinary Association for allowing us to present our product, which we know will come in handy at the veterinary clinic, save you a lot of money, would save a lot of lives and time and headache, very importantly, because at the end of the day, we pride ourselves in our 3 E's: efficiency, effectiveness, and economics. Those are the 3 E's that will apply to your clinic, right? Efficiency, because of the rate in which the product works. Effectiveness, shown by our testing and what it can do at the clinic for yourself, for your patients, and for the people who are the owners of the pets themselves, right? And of course, economics, which we just discussed, saving you a tremendous amount of money so that you do not have to stress out in terms of what you need to get for your clinic. And very, very importantly, as a matter of current events, supply chain management is a big deal. We are fully aware that within the different aspects or segments of medical care, that it is quite difficult to get your hands on the required chemicals to be able to do the job properly. Very often you don't get them on time. The prices have increased tremendously. I think all of you know that as well, and they will continue to do so with the number of wars that we have going on in the world. And of course, for those people who usually supply to you, it is becoming more and more difficult for them as well to land the product into Vigo. However, with BIOTECplus, we manufacture everything from scratch, literally from our stalls here. We do our blending right here. And so that supply to you becomes very, very easily. And this is why we're also able to maintain our prices. And you can rest assured that that will not increase. So you're in good hands, all right? So as Michelle would have mentioned to you before, please reach out to us. It is unfortunate that we could not be there this evening to do the presentation in an interpersonal way. We'd have loved to have taken and answered your questions, but we do appreciate your feedback. Please do reach out to us. The number is 728-3236. It's also a WhatsApp number. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen there, it is also a WhatsApp number. Message us, and we will respond to you immediately. I have that number in my pocket walking around every day, so it is most likely myself who will be responding to you. I'm open to those video calls. If you want to find out more, we could have one-on-one interactions. I am coming around. I have been around to quite a few of the vets in the last 2 months, and I will continue to do so because I particularly am very hands-on. I like to interact with all of our patrons, all of our customers, so that they fully understand the applications and usages and of course safety aspects of the product. And it's important for us that you understand everything about the product. Once you understand everything about BIOTECplus, it becomes a no-brainer. It really becomes a no-brainer. And just to mention to you why we are not with you guys this evening, we have been nominated as the last 2 finalists by the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry for the Innovation Award, which is happening right now while your event is taking place. So I would have loved to be there, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get the award. We can win the award this evening. So please cross your fingers for us, okay? Thanks so much, and thanks for having us again, Michelle.
And enjoy your evening.
Great. Cheers, guys.